So let's talk about when we have an order, a patient's weight, and a recommended. And we have the available. So let's talk about, is the order safe? Well, usually when we're wanting to make sure, well, we always want to make sure the order is safe, right? So you always want to make sure and read the recommendations and speak to your doctor, whatever it may be. But in this case here, we have an order of 45 milligrams IV. And we have the available of 15 milligrams per milliliter. And then we have a patient of 37 pounds, and we have a recommendation. And this recommendation about this drug is based upon body weight. So it is very important that we make sure and check that this order is safe before you administer it. Each person should be given a different amount because we should all weigh something different. So the first thing I need to do is figure out, what is my patient's weight, that 37 pounds? What is it in kilograms? Because if you notice, that's the recommendation. Here in this class here, whenever I said, how much does this patient weigh in kilograms, we always rounded it to the tenths, the nearest tenths. But when we're trying to see if it's safe or not, we do not round that number because, even a thousandth of a point can be risky. So we don't want to round on this part here. So if you want to keep the conversion going, you can, or just make sure and write the number out. So what do we know about a patient's weight? Well, we know for every 1 kilogram, that is 2.2 pounds. And I'm actually going to put approximately. It's approximately 2.2 pounds. So I'm going to convert this to pounds or kilograms. So I know that I have one patient, so I went ahead and put the 1 underneath the patient. And I'm going to convert. I want kilograms, so that it needs to go on top. And I need the pounds to reduce, so it worked out great that the pounds were on bottom. Let's mark out the unit that we didn't need. If it marks out, then we did great. It reduced down. So now I have 37 times 2, my apologies. 37 times divided by 2.2 gives me approximately 16.81 repeating. Again, if I was to just said, how much does that patient weigh? You would have said 16.8 kilograms. We would have said approximately because you rounded. That's if and only if I said, how much do they weigh? But in this case here, I'm saying we're going to give them this drug. We need to make sure the recommendation, it doesn't exceed the recommendation. So I got the patient's weight. I have a minimum and I have a maximum. So I'm going to make me 2 columns. I have a minimum, and I'm going to abbreviate, and I have a maximum. So we have this patient who is 16.81 continuously going. Not continue. It's going off to some point. So, most calculators will start rounding after a point. We just want to make sure and go out far enough. And we're going to put it over 1. The minimum says 1.7 milligrams per kilogram per dose. So what happens is I go through here and I mark out what I don't need. I'm left with milligrams per dose. We did that great. So now we have 16.818181 times 1.7, which gives me approximately, I don't need the equal sign, I need approximately 28.59 milligrams per dose. I rounded to the nearest hundreds on this. And then let's find the max. Again, we're going to take that patient. I did 1, 2, 3, 4 sets. I'm going to do 4 sets here. And the maximum is 3 milligrams per kilogram per dose. And let's mark out whatever units that will reduce. If we're left with what we wanted, we are good. So I'm going to put my approximation sign. So I have 16.818181 times 3, which is 50.45, repeated somewhere around to the nearest hundredths. And I probably misquote over here. I was getting tongue-tied. 16.81 repeated times 1.7. Reduce the units, leaves me with 28.59 milligrams per dose. So now I got the patient's weight, 16.81 repeating times 3 gives me the 50.45 milligrams per dose. And I rounded to the nearest hundreds on the answers as far as the dosage goes. And now here's the question. Is it safe? Did the doctor order a safe recommendation? Well, they said the minimum amount for this patient is 28.59. And it goes up to a maximum of 50.45. If this dosage order from the prescriber is between 28.59 and 50.45 or equal to the maximum, then it's safe. But if this number was bigger than the maximum, then it's not safe. If this number is smaller than the minimum, it's safe. It just might not be effective. So, what are we doing? We're taking the order, we're comparing it to the max. Did it go over the max? If it went beyond the max, then yes, it's not safe. It is not safe. If it goes equal to or below, it's safe.